Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Fayy Lenee back with another video. And for today's video, I actually have something a little bit different for you guys. I'm switching it up, starting a new series here on my channel. That is obviously if you guys enjoy it, then I'll keep doing it. But I was recently inspired to start doing everyday makeup stash videos, or what's in my everyday makeup stash video. And if you are not familiar with these types of videos, they basically are videos where you go through your entire makeup collection, which mine is ridiculous. It actually gave me a little bit of anxiety going through my makeup collection and trying to pick out products. I'm not even gonna lie. But you basically go through your entire makeup collection and you pick out products that you're going to use every day or almost every day for an entire month. And the point of doing this is just to unhoard your makeup, use your makeup, and not just have it sitting in drawers collecting dust and being absolutely pointless. So I think the idea behind doing these types of videos is a really great idea. Honestly, I have tons of makeup products that literally just sit in my drawers and they hardly ever get touched because I have my couple of products that I continuously go back to, and I forget about a lot of the other things that I've purchased over the years, over the months, over the weeks, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited to start doing this series and sharing with you guys some of the products that I have in my collection that I've kind of gotten pushed to the wayside, and to pull those products back out and start using them and hopefully use them up so that they're not just, you know, sitting around not getting any use. So yeah, I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. Outside of that, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Fayy Lenee. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video and checking it out. I really hope that you enjoy it. If you do, be sure to give it a big thumbs up so that I know that you like these types of videos. And also be sure to turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out when I upload future videos. And if you have not already, also be sure to subscribe to my channel and join my fam here on YouTube. And if you are not new to my channel, then you already know what it is. So thank you so much for coming back for another video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I think I'm just going to pretty much go in the order that I would typically do my makeup. And I did try to pick out products that I would actually use on an everyday basis because I do work during the week, Monday through Friday. So I wanted to pick out products that I knew I would use realistically on an everyday basis so that I can try to get through these products and use them up and not just have them collecting dust in my drawers. So I'm going to start off with primers. I have 3 primers that I'm going to be using for the month of November. The first one is the Benefit The Professional Matte Rescue. This one is kind of more, it's a primer, but to me it's kind of more like a mattifying moisturizer. I'm going to be using this in the place of my Fenty Pro Filter, which I have been using like crazy. I use that as the base before I put on anything else, including other primers. And I literally don't go a day without it. It makes a major difference in my makeup routine. So I'm hoping that this can do the same. And it says on the back that it is mattifying, pore blurring, and has an invisible finish. I've had this in my collection for a hot minute, and I used to use it all the time, and then I just kind of forgot about it as new products came out. So I want to try to go ahead and get through this. I think I have about half of the container left, so I'm going to be using that. And I'm also going to be using the Benefit The Professional Face Primer. This is an OG product. I remember when I first started YouTube, this was the primer that everybody was using and talking about. And I have repurchased this several times, so this is not like a super old primer, but I don't use it as much, so I pulled it out of my collection and I'm going to be using it for the month of November. And then last but not least, I'm going to be using the Boscia Porefecting White Charcoal Mattifying Treatment Primer. I've already been using this pretty much every day for the past week or so, so I figured I would just continue right along using this. And this is pretty much my little trifecta. I try to always do some type of mattifying moisturizer, a pore blurring primer, and a mattifying primer. And this keeps me good throughout the day. So yes, if you have super oily skin, you may want to try out a little concoction of primers like this, but these are the 3 that I'm going to be using for the month of November. So next up, I'm going to talk about foundations and concealers. First up, I have the LA Girl Pro Matte HD Longwear Matte Foundation. This one probably doesn't come as any surprise to you guys. I have been talking endlessly about how bomb this foundation is, but I am literally scraping the bottle, and I did recently purchase a new one, so I want to go ahead and get this one used up so I can get it thrown away and maybe dabble into some other foundations or go ahead and open the new one of this. This is a definite favorite of mine, so I want to go ahead and scrape the rest out of this so that I can get rid of it. Also, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. I recently uploaded a full review, first impression on this foundation, so if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about it, I will link that for you guys. But I have not worn this a ton, but the times that I have worn it, I have absolutely loved it. It's a newer product, but I have been really enjoying it, so I want to continue using this. I have mine in the shade 12.5, and I did see on Instagram that they are actually about to expand the range of this foundation to 50 shades, which is bomb for an affordable foundation. I cannot wait to see that display in Ulta with 50 shades of foundation. I just feel like it's going to be so satisfying. But yes, I'm going to be using this. And then last but not least, I'm also going to be pulling out my CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation. I have two shades here that I tend to mix together, or just depending on what I'm going for. One's a little bit more warm and the other one is a little bit more neutral, but they are in the shades Warm Sun and Toasted Caramel. And I actually haven't really used these very much. I've had them in my collection pretty much since they launched, and I hardly ever reach for them. So when I saw these in my foundation drawer, I was like, okay, let me pull these out. Let me give these a little bit of love this month. So I'm going to be using the two of these. Okay, I need to stop babbling so much because I'm looking at the time, and we got a lot of products to get through. So let me just get through them. So next I have some concealers. I actually have two concealers. The first one is the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. This is one of the original shades. I know they recently launched some new shades, but this is one of the originals. This one is in the shade Medium. And I did pick up one of the newer shades. So this one, as you can see, is pretty much, I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty much almost gone. So I want to try to get through the rest of this in the month of November. And then I'm also going to be pulling out my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealers. These used to be like my go-to concealers. Now I'm constantly using my Too Faced sculpting concealers, which I will still be using in November. I can't go without those, but I do want to reach for these a little bit more and give them a little bit more love because I use them recently and I like remembered how much I love them, and I just haven't been reaching for them. So I am going to be using these. I have these in the shade Medium, which I used to highlight, and then Medium Dark, which is good for concealing on my face. So I went ahead and pulled those out. Next up for brows, I'm going to be reaching for the Profusion Brow Palette. This one is in the shade Medium Dark, I believe. And I do still use my either brow definer or Benefit Goof Proof. But I like to go in with this powder and just set everything in place and just fill in any gaps. So I have really been liking this. I used to reach more so for my Anastasia Brow Powder Duo, but I have been reaching for this one a lot more often, so I'm going to continue to do so. And then for contour, I'm going to be using two drugstore products. I have my Wet n Wild Contouring Palette and my NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt Palette. I have not reached for this in forever. I'm not a huge fan of this yellow powder, but the bronzing powder is really good in here. And then this one I purchased a while back and then like barely ever reached for it. So I went ahead and pulled this one out. The contour powder in here is a little bit deeper, so I figured the two of these, I could use this one to bronze and this one if I want to deep it up a little bit. And the next one also has a highlighter in there that I could dip into if I want. So I'm going to be reaching for the two of these. So before I get to highlighters, I want to mention quickly the Fenty Fly Liner. I purchased this during the Sephora appreciation event, and I've used it maybe once or twice. I haven't really reached for it that much, but I do want to use it more. You guys know I'm obsessed with my Black Up Waterproof Liquid Liner. I'm going to try to give that one a little bit of a rest. I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing that one, and try to reach for the Fenty one this month. And then for mascara, I'm going to be using the Maybelline The Colossal Big Shot Mascara, the one done in collaboration with Makeup Shayla. This one is in the shade Baddest Black, and I've already been using this a lot, and I think it's kind of starting to almost be out. And I have backups of this as well, so I want to try to go ahead and use this up in the month of November, so I will be using this. And then for blushes, This probably won't come as any surprise to you guys because this is another product I have also been raving about. But these Sephora blush palettes are so good. I'm going to be using these, and I have both of the ones that they offer. So I have the lighter one and the deeper one. This one is just called the blush palette, and this one is the Spice Market blush palette. So between the two of these, I will have more than enough blushes. And yeah, you guys will be seeing these if I do any makeup tutorials in the month of November, which I'm sure I will. I will be using these, and they also have highlighters in these as well, so I will be using those. And then I'm also going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Cherry Highlight and Blush Palette. Now, really in here, I'm going to be using more so of the blush in this palette. I watched a couple of people do reviews on the Naked Cherry collection, and a lot of people said they did not like this palette. And I received it in PR from Urban Decay, and I was just ready to not like it. And then I tried out the blush, and I really love the blush. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the highlighters in here, but I do really like the blush. It's a really nice, neutral, kind of natural shade that I think is beautiful for every day if you have a deeper skin tone. So I'm going to be dipping into this as well since it is a newer product. And now let's go ahead and get into the highlighters. So first up, I have two highlighters from Too Faced. These are from their Love Light collection. These are so old, you guys. Do you remember these? They're so cute. I love the packaging. I have the silver one also, but that one's not really very flattering on my skin tone. So I pulled out these two. This one is in the shade You Light Up My Life, and this one is in the shade Ray of Light. These are gorgeous highlighters. They are buildable highlighters, so if you want to build them up to like a really intense glow, you can do that. But the thing that I really love about these is they also kind of can give you that subtle, natural, glowing from within kind of glow also. So these are swatches, and they look beautiful on the skin. They don't emphasize texture. They're just really nice highlighters, and I never reach for these. So I went ahead and pulled those out. I'm also going to be reaching for my Black Up Times Jenny Jenkins highlighter palette. I mentioned this recently in my top underrated products that literally nobody ever talks about, and I feel like this is one of them. And I've had this in my collection for a while, and recently I never reached for it, and there's lots of really beautiful highlighters in here. So I am going to be reaching for this. And then last but not least, I had to throw in a new product. This is the new Desi Times Katie Chasing the Sun highlighter. I do have that on my face today. Actually, I think today may be the second time that I've worn this highlighter, but it is beautiful and definitely a great option for my girls that have deeper complexions if you're looking for a really beautiful bronzy highlighter. So I'm definitely going to be putting this to use in the month of November. And then last but not least, I have a couple of setting sprays that I want to mention. So the first, I have two primer sprays, or what I'll be using as primer sprays, and two setting sprays. So the first one is the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist, and I did receive this recently in PR as well. And I have so many e.l.f. products in my collection that I just never reach for, so I wanted to pull this out and give this a little bit of love this month. And then I'm also going to be using my Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. I have already been using this. I'm trying to use it up. I don't think I have a ton of it left, but I am trying to use it up. And I have also noticed that the bottle is leaking, like the cap is leaking. I'm not really sure what's up with that, so I'm just trying to get this used up. So I'm going to be using this as another one of my primer sprays. And then for setting sprays, I'm going to be using a new product. This is the ColourPop All-Star Face Setting Spray. I just got this in the mail recently, and I want to give it a try. It says that it is a matte and blur face setting spray that is supposed to give you soft focus matte complexion that will also give you stay all day wear. The stay all day wear that you need. That's what it says on the box. So I definitely want to try this out. I used it on my face today for the first time, and I want to go ahead and put it in the rotation. So I will be reaching for this. And last but not least, I'm going to be using the Model in a Bottle Makeup Setting Spray. If you are an OG of my channel, like way back in the day, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when I first started posting videos on my channel, this setting spray, this and the Urban Decay setting spray was all I ever used on my channel, in my life, period. period, this was all that I ever used. It's a really good setting spray. It does have a really intense smell, like a really intense, like kind of chemical smell to it. So you do not want to get it in your eyes, and you do not want to breathe it in. I know that probably sounds like, girl, you probably don't need to be spraying that on your face, but this setting spray is so good. It mattifies the skin and it keeps me matte. Like, honestly, this is probably top 3 best oil controlling mattifying setting sprays that I have ever tried, ever. So I did recently pick this up off of Amazon. You can get it off of Amazon. That's normally where I buy it. And yeah, I haven't used this in years, and I just wanted to pick it up and try it again and see if I still love it. I do. So I'm going to be including this in my rotation for the month of November, and you guys will be seeing it if I do any makeup tutorials. Like I said, pretty much all of these products, if I do any makeup tutorials, I will be including them in the rotation. Now, this does not mean that I won't be trying out other products, because of course I will be receiving other things in PR, or, you know, buying things per usual. So I will still be trying out other products, but for the most part, on a day-to-day basis and in my makeup tutorials, I'm going to try my best to reach for these products only. Well, not only, but you know what I'm saying. For the most part, I'm going to be trying to reach for these products. And yeah, so I'm very excited to be starting this series, and hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys find it interesting. And of course, at the end of the month, whenever I do my favorites, I'll be sure to let you guys know my thoughts on the products, or like as I'm using them in videos, I'll be sure to let you guys know my thoughts on the products and all of that. So that is all that I have for you guys for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And let me know what your holy grail must-have products are that you use on an everyday basis. Leave those for me down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not already, make sure that you turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon in my next one.